What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to JoJo Speaks for our 90-Day Fiance the Other Way review. I'm here with my good buddy Dustin. How you doing, Dustin?
Doing good. How are you doing, Jonathan? I
I'm
wouldn't.
doing.
It wouldn't be right if I wouldn't say happy birthday on live. So happy birthday once again to my
Thank you
best
so.
friend.
Thank you so
Great.
much, Dustin. Yes, it is my birthday today, September the 30th. I am 35 years of age. I cannot believe it, y'all. For the last couple of years on my birthday, my family has actually been on vacation, so I guess that's why it really doesn't feel necessarily like my birthday per se. But it is yet and still September 30th, which means it is my birthday. So yeah, we'll. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes on Facebook, on Instagram. I did post on Instagram, and here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for all of your birthday love. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for making this a special day for me. I love you guys and appreciate you for all of your love and support. Um, so let's get into this particular episode. As I was telling Dustin before we went live, not much really happened necessarily in this particular episode, but we will cover what was discussed. And what I wanted
Right.
to do was start with James and
Mm-hmm.
Natalia. So
Sure.
James and Natalia, they're having this conversation concerning the fact that he's not sure if he wants to stay in Indonesia. He's not sure if he necessarily wants a child. He asked Natalia if she would still want to be with him if they did not have any children, and her response was, "Well, what's the point of marriage if we're not going to have children?" And James said, "Well, it'll be us together." For people like me, I don't desire to have any children. However, I will accept someone if they do have children of their own, to
Neither do
accept
I.
them into my
I don't
life.
want
Yeah,
kids either.
I understand that, Dustin. But so it's a deal breaker for a whole lot of people, and I have a good feeling that it would be a deal breaker for Natalia, because it
Right.
seems to be extremely important. And I don't know if it's more because of her culture or more because of it's an actual personal desire that she has for herself. So, Dustin, how did you think that this conversation between James and Natalia went concerning him staying in Indonesia and having children?
I don't think that this is gonna work out, Jonathan. And I've been saying this for a while now, and it's just getting more apparent to me that she wants kids, and I said sometimes it's a deal breaker for couples if they don't if one they want the kid and the other one don't want a kid. So that's the point. I don't think that's gonna make it. I really don't. I really don't feel like it's gonna make it.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that they're going to make it either. My main question is, I wonder how her parents are going to react to the fact that he doesn't desire any children, because they have been pushing this ever since I've seen them on this particular season of 90 Day Fiance the other
Yeah.
way. They have been, and of course, again, it is a part of their culture that they do have children. And to me, I feel as though that's unfair to those who actually live in that country, because if they don't want to have children, they shouldn't have children. But there are certain
There's certain
things.
things you have to follow sometimes.
Right. There are certain things that happen culturally in certain spaces where you can choose whether you want to go along with it or you can choose to go on your own path. And I, for one, would be one to go on and choose to go on my own path and do
Mm,
me. And because it's not a law that they're supposed to have children, but some of those countries take it as seriously as a law. And so that's my main thing about Natalia's parents, is that I feel as though they might reject James because he does not want any children, and may not
right.
accept him as much as he would want to be accepted by them, if he reveals to them that he doesn't want to have children. And I don't know how Natalia will be able to bring up that subject with her parents, because we saw in a previous episode when she wanted to talk about the fact that he was actually staying in Indonesia. She was kind of quiet during that conversation and wanted James to do the majority of the talking during that conversation. So I'm wondering, how is she going to feel going into a conversation like that? So, Dustin, how do you think that her parents would react to James not wanting to have any children?
I don't think they'll react. I don't think they'll react very good at all, Jonathan.
Mm,
I don't think
yeah,
they're gonna take it. I don't think they're gonna take it well. Um,
yeah.
I honestly don't think they are at all because, like I've been saying, and you've been saying the same thing. It's cultural. you have,
Yes.
if you have somebody, like the United States of America, you have a choice if you want a kid or not in this country. But we're talking about other countries right now. And some
Right.
people, some other countries it's a cultural thing. So, and it is a cultural thing. It comes back to the show. So, it's sometimes it's a hard thing to get over in a relationship when somebody wants one, if somebody wants a kid and the other one doesn't want a kid, because you have to be on two different you have to be on two same pages with that, because that's a
Right.
life-changing thing, Jonathan. And that's a and it's a long time thing. You have a kid,
It's
you
for
have to
life.
raise a kid. So it's a long time process, and in order for them to do that together, you have to be on the same page.
Right, exactly. And I forgot to do this at the beginning of the show, so please forgive me. But thank you guys for commenting on the video. Now, I won't be able to read aloud all of the comments, but all of your comments will be displayed on the video. So thank you guys so much for your comments, but I won't be able to read every single one of the comments that appear on the screen. But all the comments will be displayed on the screen for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for working with us on that. And so let's move on to Josh and Lily. So Josh and Lily, Josh takes Lily to this space where they're going to
Mhm.
learn how to dance. It
Right,
doesn't seem like it's like a traditional dance or anything of that nature, but he dresses up in traditional, it seems like Chinese garb, and they
right,
have a teacher who's teaching them the 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what I'm saying? It was,
yeah.
excuse me, and Lily seemed to be so happy. She was so happy that Josh had done this for her. And this is probably the biggest smile that I've ever seen on Lily's face. And it's great to
Me
see
too.
them in a great space. Awesome. Yeah, it's great to
Right.
see them in a good place. Because
Yeah.
I see how much Lily wants to give in to Josh and allow him to love her the way that she wants to be loved. But I don't know if Lily really knows how she wants to be loved. I think she has an idea of what to expect. But it seems like
Mhm.
Josh isn't living up to those expectations. And so I
Mm.
would hope that they will get to a place where they can maybe have a conversation about one another's love languages so that they can be on
Right.
the same page as far as how they both
They
expect
both
to
need
be
to be
loved by
they
one
both need
another.
to be on the same page with that, and I don't feel like they both are. As right now, I don't feel like they both are on the same page, but they both need to be on the same page. That's a very strongly thing, because that's a whole entire relationship down the drain if you don't
Right.
understand where you want to be, because you have to be on the same page for both of them. Um, but that's my opinion, Jonathan. It goes with anybody. You have to be on, where you want to be at. And I
Right.
and I know I
Exactly.
just I know where I want to be at right now in my life. So it's like I'm here right now, best thing I've ever done. So it's like you have to you have to know where you want to be in the future, or in the current time. Because life changes at any point, Jonathan.
Right.
You just never know, but you have to be on the same page. That's what
Exactly.
I was
Hey,
really
Lady
trying to say.
Virgo. We see Lady Virgo there in the comments. So good
Hello,
to see you.
Virgo.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, and thank you for the comment, Miss Lady Virgo. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing how this marriage is going to go. I believe Josh ended up saying that all of Lily's family will be there for the wedding. I'm wondering if any of Josh's family are going to be a part
I
of the
don't
wedding.
think so. I don't think so. I
Yeah,
don't think
it's
I don't think the Josh family is going to be there. I think that most of the family is going to be there is her family, but I don't think that that's I don't think that's going to I just don't think that's going to turn out too well. The wedding part of it,
Right. We will see as the time goes on. It's just that I think it's pretty interesting that we haven't seen any of Josh's family on this season of 90
because
Day Fiance.
I don't think they agree with being on camera. I
That
don't
that
think
could that
I
that
don't
could be
think
the case. That could be the case. But I just thought that was pretty interesting that we
Right.
haven't seen any of Josh's family. But I'm hoping that everything will go well for Josh and Lily. Again, I
Mhm.
loved Lily's personality. She almost
Me
always
too.
has a smile on her face. And
Right.
even when she seems to be a little bit upset or she's talking about a subject that she might not be too comfortable with speaking on, she's always going
Mhm.
to have a smile on her face. And I love to see Lily in that jovial state almost all the time. That's always, oh, something is in my eye, Lord. That's
You
always something
okay?
that I love to see. Yeah, yeah, I'm good. That's
Okay.
that's something that I love to see. And once again, as I've stated before, it's clear that Josh does love Lily. They just need to have that conversation as to what love looks like to each one of them so they can understand, if Josh is doing something that Lily is not used to, and that's his way of showing his love for her, and it's not connecting for her because they haven't had that conversation, it's not going to affect her the way that Josh wants it to, because she doesn't know that that's the way that you love her. So
Yeah.
I hope that they can have that conversation to kind of meet in the middle somewhere. But again, I still think that there's a language barrier between Lily and Josh. Although Lily does speak pretty good English, I still think that there's a communication issue between the two. Are you thinking along the same lines, Dustin? That
Yes,
there's still
me and you are always on the same page, and I'm on the same page with this one because I feel like this. Yeah, I feel like I'm in the same boat with you, because I feel like that me and you are closely on the same page most of the time. With that's just like I feel like this. I feel like they need to reevaluate the whole entire uh,
relationship.
relationship,
Hmm.
and that's why because they they just don't seem like they're on the same page to me, Jonathan. And
Yeah,
they just don't seem like that they're going to be happy for the long
for the
for
long
the long
haul.
haul.
Yeah,
I feel like that they're happy for now, but we can't promise the future. Nobody can promise the future, Jonathan. Even
that's true.
I can't promise the future. So um, you need to know where you want to be in the future. You need to know where you want to be now. You need to know where you want to be in the future. So it's like, you know, they have to be the one to have the deep conversation, Jonathan. Um,
Exactly.
but if they don't want to have the deep conversation, then that's on them. But
the
they need,
and the thing is, if they don't have that conversation, they'll continue to have these miscommunications going on between the two, and that's not going to be good for their relationship in the long run. They have to work on their relationship together. And I just want to see a more cohesive relationship between the two, because right now it just seems like they're sort of kind of really good friends. They don't seem
right?
like an actual couple to me, like a
No,
couple that's about to get married. I'm not getting that vibe from them as I do, Natalia and her husband, and as well as
right.
some of the other, even Shekinah, and Sarper.
Sharper, I don't get.
They they
Yeah,
they even seem like they're in a relationship even more than Josh and Lily, but I would
right.
just want to see them get a little bit closer. But we'll see what happens. I'm assuming that the wedding will be airing
It'll be
this
next.
season.
Yeah, it'll be like. I think it'll be next. Was it next week or the week after next?
I did not see them getting married in the preview for the next episode, so I'm assuming they might not be featured on the next episode, and maybe the episode after that, maybe their
Oh,
their their marriage will be there. But they didn't
okay.
specify when exactly their marriage is scheduled to happen, so I'm
Mm.
not exactly sure when to expect it. But whenever we get there, we will be able to
Oh
see it
yeah,
and
we will
enjoy
get
it
there. We will get
as
there.
viewers. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
So let's move on to Joanne and Sean. So Joanne and Sean are dealing with the aftermath of revealing to their children, as well as Joanne's best friend, that they have been married for 2 years.
yeah.
She's talking to her sons, and excuse me. Sean's daughter is actually talking to one of Joanne's sons, saying, can't believe that your mom is actually my mom. And she's like, she's still in disbelief. And it seems like this is still on the same day. She
Right.
takes her sons aside, and he asked her son, her eldest son. I should get his name. I'll get his name for the next episode. Her eldest son asks her, so what's the plan? What are you planning to do? And Joanne says that she wants to make her home in Ireland, and she wants to go back and forth between Ireland and the U.S. And he asked, well, what does that mean for us? And Joanne is sort of like, well, if you want to come with me, you can, but there's no set plan in Joanne's mind as far as what's going to happen, because everything's up in midair. Based on whatever's going to happen with her kids. Hey, Robin, thank you so much for being here. Robin, love you for being here, girl. It's Boom Coon in the chat. So it's so interesting to me how mature Joanne's eldest son is. It seems like he might be about 16 or 17 years old, almost 18 years old. At least that's how old he looks to me. And he seems to be very perspective as far as what's going on with his mother and his now stepfather, and their whole thing. But I honestly wish that that Joanne would have gone into a little bit more detail as to why she did not tell her sons that she was married. She didn't give them too much of an explanation, and I think they're at least owed that. But the other side of that is, I don't know if Joanne really knows why she didn't tell anyone that they got married, because she really hasn't told the audience, much less her children, because we really haven't had a definitive answer as to why she decided not to tell anyone that she got married. She just, was like, well, it was kind of like on a whim. And, she didn't want the rejection. I think she was afraid that people would not accept the fact that she married someone from a whole nother country. She did it on a whim. I don't think they had any witnesses at their wedding. It seems like they must have gone to a courthouse of some sort. Exactly. And so, I do feel bad for her sons. It seems like Sean's daughter seems to be okay with it. She doesn't seem to be putting up any resistance towards the news that her father is married to Joanne. I think Sean's daughter is taking it a little bit better than her sons, but Joanne's youngest son seems to be a little bit shut down, seems not to be talking as much as his older brother is. And that worries me a little bit. And I would hope that Joanne would have a good sit down conversation with her sons to explain to them and really give them reasons as to why they were left out of her decision to get married, or they were left out of her decision to tell them that she had gotten married. But what was your reaction to seeing Joanne talking to her sons about her plan for the future?
My reaction was the same as yours. Very surprised. I was very, very surprised, and I was very shocked, to say the least, Jonathan, because I didn't really know what to expect. And usually I expect the worst, but I got the worst this time, because I expected them to not take the news lightly, Jonathan, at all. I know I wouldn't take the news lightly if it was myself.
Right.
So if it was myself or anybody that I'm close to, I wouldn't take the news very lightly at all.
Same with me, Dustin.
You need to be totally honest and open with me, just like I am with anybody else. So if you're not open and honest with me, then we might not be as
as
if
close.
you're not nope.
Right.
Not it.
Exactly. Robin says she didn't tell because it was impulsive. She was unsure and not willing to own her choice to marry. That is true. And again, it seems like they sort of kind of did it on a whim. Yeah, hey, let's just get married. I could never see myself doing that, because to me, I've seen my parents married all of my life. And so I know, as the legendary Karen Huger would say, it's an institution. So, I know that it is a very important thing, and probably going to be one of the most important parts of my life whenever I do get to that day. But I would never leave anyone out of that decision, because that would be very selfish, at least in my opinion. It's a very selfish decision to leave everyone out of your business of getting married. That's crazy to me. But we'll see what happens next time.
How come she didn't? I would want my close friends, my supporters there,
Exactly.
at my wedding, Jonathan. So,
Right.
uh, why would you? I'm not gonna, why would you hide something like that?
I cannot
But,
imagine getting
uh,
married and not having my sister there, my best friends there, my parents there. I don't know if y'all know this, but when I get married, I would love for my mother to walk me down the aisle. I can't imagine my family and my loved ones not being there to support me on the what most would say is the most important day of my
from the
life.
day of your life, yeah.
Exactly. Like I want to share the love. And when you leave people out of your wedding, that means that you're hoarding the love all for yourself, and you don't want to share it with others. Now, Joanne's best friend also had a Zoom conversation with Joanne's mother. And I'm surprised that Joanne's mother didn't tell her friend before Joanne's friend found out. Now that was
Yeah.
surprising to me. I thought she might have gotten the lowdown on the
Yeah.
information, but yeah, Joanne's mother's asking, how did the kids take it? How did you take it? And, Joanne's best friend is letting her know the business. And, of course, Joanne's mother is really not here for this marriage thing that's going on. I
No,
don't know if
she
it's
she doesn't agree with it.
right. And
She
I'm
doesn't agree
assuming
with it.
that's
Mm-mm.
mainly because Joanne did it without telling anyone. So,
That's right. She
um,
didn't agree with it. She should have. Her mom said in the earlier episode. She said, "How come you didn't tell me?" And I agree with her.
right. Yeah.
I
So
agree with her. I agree with her 110% because
that's your
that's your
child.
yes. So
Exactly.
you
And
should be telling like I said, you should be telling who you're close with. You know but that's her. That's not me. I wouldn't do that. You know.
right. And
Mm-mm.
so it will be interesting to see where this goes in the future. I'm not sure exactly where they can take the story from here, besides us finding out whether Joanne actually does make the move to Ireland on a permanent basis and is just
I think she's
visiting the
going to though.
US from time to time. So
Hmm.
yeah, you think she is going to end up
Yeah.
doing it? Do you
Right.
think she's going to do that regardless of what her kid's opinion is
Yeah.
on the matter?
Yes.
I'm thinking the same as well. I'm thinking
It's
that,
because it's because it's because love can control everybody. It can take over everything else. You know. When you want to be with your husband. I understand that, but you also have to take care of your. You have to think about your family back behind the other way. Behind the other way. But that's just the way. That's the way I am. I feel like it's going to happen no matter what, Jonathan.
I'm thinking the exact same, Dustin. I'm thinking that she's going to move to Ireland regardless, because if you can get married and not tell anyone, and go on about life as if nothing else is happening, then she can make that decision to move to Ireland without anyone say so on the matter. Robin says, as someone uh, has who has crept, my guess is that at least um, at least initially, Sean was a plaything, but things got serious. Yeah, yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like Joanne was treating Sean like a plaything in the beginning, but I'm thinking it was more Sean's idea to get married than it was Joanne's. But
I think I
who
think
knows?
Sean basically uh pushed her to get married, Jonathan.
Yeah,
But that's how I feel about it. I feel like that John pushed her to get married
and if
before she really wanted to.
And if that were the case, it would make so much more sense as to why Joanne would not have told her family about them getting married. Because if Sean just, springs it up on her one day, well, let's just get married, Joanne doesn't have the time to process and think about, okay, so how am I going to get this information to my family? How am I going to be able to let them know that we've actually made this decision? Because if Sean says, well, let's get married, Sean's not going to say, let's wait a month or let's wait a year. No, Sean's just going to
Yeah.
say, let's do it now. So I'm assuming
Did you catch the point, Jonathan, where they she said his visa got they tried to get a visa for him to go to the United States, but he overstayed his other visa
I
and
did.
he couldn't get that. So what did you think about that?
I thought that was pretty interesting. It doesn't seem like it was because of Joanne that the visa was canceled, but
Hmm.
it seems like Sean, when he makes his decisions, he's going to do whatever is best for him in his mind, no matter what
Hmm.
the rules are. Because to be
Hmm.
honest, I don't think Sean really cares that no one knew that they were married because Sean just does whatever
Hmm.
the heck he wants to do.
Uh-huh.
And no
He
one
don't care
tells
about the
Sean
rules.
what to do. So,
Uh-huh.
there's that. But
Uh,
we'll see what happens in the
I don't think
future.
he's gonna get another visa.
He
I don't.
probably won't get another visa, but we'll see in the future. But I'm hoping that everything turns out in the best way possible for all
Uh,
parties involved. I don't want
uh,
Joanne's relationship with her sons to be diminished or to be affected negatively by this decision not to tell them that she got married. But it's obvious that her sons are hurt by this. I don't think Sean's daughter necessarily cares that much. I think she might
I
be
don't
too
think she.
young to care
I think she's.
necessarily too much.
I think she's too young to understand what like what's going on.
Right. Yeah,
Um.
she knows about marriage and things of that nature, but I don't think like the actual devastation of not being told, it really doesn't hit her like it hit Joanne's eldest son because he was obviously the most affected and her other son as well, her younger son. They were extremely affected by this. And I
Uh,
also did not factor in the fact that they might be thinking about their father in this case as well, the fact that their mother is marrying someone who's not their father. So, but she was married to him before she got divorced, but that's just another factor in it. So we'll see what happens later on down the road. Let's get to
uh,
our final couple, Miss
uh,
Corona and Ng. I feel like we haven't talked about this couple in a little while. So Corona goes to a meeting with some
right.
Africa with some brown and colored melanated people of Iceland, and
Yeah.
asks them how it is that they're able to live in a place that might be majority not their skin color, majority of people who are not like them. And so
Uh,
it's these types of groups and these types of meetings that keep them going and that allow them to stay there and live and do what it is that they do. And she also goes to a counselor concerning getting into school to become a midwife.
uh,
We all know that Corona wants to be a midwife, and
yes.
and she is told that the classes are all in Icelandic. That the interview before she gets into the classes is going to be in Icelandic. And it's interesting to me that she did not know any of this information before moving to Iceland because it
Mm,
seems like she's actually made the move. Like she's actually moved to Iceland. She doesn't plan on going back to the U.S. And
mm,
so
mm.
for her to make the decision to move to Iceland because she wants to go to school in Iceland and because she wants to work in Iceland. I don't know if you could necessarily work in another country and not be fluent in their language. I don't know
No,
exactly
you.
how that would
I don't
necessarily
think.
work.
I don't think that would go too well, Jonathan, because how
Probably
would you
not.
under how would you understand your patient? Because
Exactly.
your patients are speaking another language. Uh,
It,
I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be able to understand a different language. It'd be hard for me to understand
right.
what people being said in another language other than United States uh, English, because that's what I know. So uh, it would be harder for me to go move someplace and don't know half the people, don't know English, don't but that would be hard for anybody. Um,
It would.
but for me especially. But how would you understand her patients? Um, that's just my question. I just don't know how that would go.
That
Being
is a good
honest with
question, and it makes perfect sense that she would need to learn the language if she's going to be not only studying in a foreign country, but also working in said foreign country. She's going to have to be able to communicate with the people that she's working with, because especially in the healthcare field. In the healthcare field is definitely a one-on-one type of thing where you have to be able to communicate with the people that you're working with. So I wish that Corona would have thought this through a little bit better and had a little bit better of a plan when it
you.
comes to
I
her
wish he would
her
have done.
wishes.
I wish he would have done more research, Jonathan.
Right.
You
Exactly.
need to do if you move someplace like another country, you need to do your most research that you can ever do. And that goes for anybody
Right.
that's on this live. Anybody listening to this, do your research because
Exactly.
you could come from another country, you wouldn't know what the heck you were doing in the other country.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. So
uh,
Scar said it best in The Lion King. You must be prepared. You must be prepared. You do not want to go into a space that you're definitely unfamiliar with and a whole different country nonetheless. And you want to be able to work there, you have to understand the rules. So to me, Corona doesn't seem that susceptible to change in her life. It seems like she's more of a, I'm going to do what I want on my terms, it's my way or the highway type of deal. And so if she's going, as far as I know, Corona doesn't know any Icelandic language at
no,
all.
she don't.
She's
No, she
she's
don't.
not I don't think she knows a little bit about it, and so it's going to be impossible for her to go to this school because she's got to do an interview first of all, which is going to be in Icelandic in order to get into the school. And how is she going to be able to understand what is being
She ain't
taught
got.
in the school if she doesn't know
Yeah,
the language?
she has to have the language, Jonathan.
She has
She has
to.
she has to know the language before she does any of that.
And
So
so,
I just don't think that she's gonna be able to do that. Not unless she only takes the classes, because, like I said, that's gonna be a hard profession to do
right.
that.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
oh,
ahead.
it's okay. And Corona also found out that she did miss the deadline, even though if she didn't miss the deadline, she still wouldn't have been, applying anyways because she doesn't know the language. But she did end up missing the deadline by I think 2 months. It was that the counselor
Yeah,
said.
two
Uh,
months.
right. To enroll into that particular school. So it's obvious to me right now that Corona will not be getting into that school
Yeah.
before the end of this particular season. So I don't know exactly where their storyline in particular is going to go from here. We've already seen her with her Lady Virgo says exactly. Thank you so much, Lady Virgo. I don't know exactly how things are going to go with this particular couple later on down the line. We've already seen her with his parents and his family. They're all good with them. So we'll see what happens with them on the next
Mm,
episode. But we want
right.
to thank you all for joining us this evening for our 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way
Good way.
review. We're so glad that you've come here. Thank you so much for make sure you like, comment, subscribe, press the notification bell, share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. I want to thank everyone for the birthday wishes again. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I always take my birthday very, very seriously. And so, again, the fact that I'm not on vacation right now is kind of weird to me. It doesn't feel like my birthday for some reason. But either way, I'm so glad that I'm still here. I'm 35, and it is what it is. You guys can follow
I'm
me
glad to
on
be
Instagram.
with you on my birthday. Glad to be with you on your birthday,
And I'm
Jonathan.
so glad that I'm able to share my birthday with you, Dustin. It is an
Thank
honor
you.
that I'm able to share my birthday with you. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks 3020.
3020.
My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHAN 07.
My information is Dustin Butler 700 on Instagram. My Facebook is Dustin Butler. So thank you very much to everybody. Thank you much to Jonathan, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your birthday. And I
Thank you
enjoyed
so much.
being with you.
Thank you so much, Dustin. I will do my best. I will do my best. Thank you guys for joining us. Join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces, 6 p.m. 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way review. Join us next week for our review for the next episode. We're going to say bye for now. Hope you guys have a blessed week. Stay safe out there, you guys. Love you.
Bye.